What is up, guys? Welcome back to the channel. It is James from 𝘍𝙀𝙆𝙆𝙆, and in the last video I finished it off by saying I would judge the transfer window when it closes, and it hasn't closed yet. We've got about a week left. There's still plenty that Liverpool could do, and so that's kind of what I want to talk about today, kind of the state of the transfer window as it is right now. So far, I'm sure you'll all know, because it's pretty unpopular news amongst Liverpool fans, Liverpool haven't actually made any incomings yet, but we have made a number of outgoings, which surely will impact the incomings very, very soon, one would hope so. Obviously, we know Carvalho's deal has gone through. Bobby Clark's was finalised today. He arrived in Salzburg. That's done. Sepp van den Berg is, as of recording this, very, very close to being done. It looks like he's going to go to Brentford, but he really has dealer's choice of Brentford or Leipzig, and that's like a 25 million deal with the add-on. So really, really good deal there. Great money we've got for a player that wasn't seeing first team action at Liverpool, certainly. It's pure profit. Harvey Blair went to Portsmouth, and there's been a couple of others of youth players as well that have moved on. But the big number is that the total Liverpool have made or will make by the time the Sepp deal is finished this transfer window is a profit of 77.8 million. We're closing in on that 80 million mark, and none of that money is yet to be spent. We're also expecting Tyler Morton, and 𝘍𝙍𝙀𝙼 is also expected to go out on loan, which I'll come back to a little bit later why that's important. But basically 80 million there or thereabouts Liverpool have made in pure transfer profit in this window, and we're yet to bring anyone in. So I think it is now fair to start saying what's happening with this money, because that is pure transfer market profit that you would expect them to reinvest into the club. And I'm not one of those people that says, you know, let's just get a signing for the sake of a signing. Now, in relation to 𝘽𝙍𝙀𝙆𝙆𝙄, it looks like that deal is going to happen maybe today or certainly in the coming days. The agreement, we've had a tweet from Fabrizio Romano just summing that situation up. He said, the agreement between Liverpool and Valencia for 𝘍𝙆𝙆𝙆 is on the verge of being completed. Final steps needed on payment terms and deal structure. Fee will be 35 million euros, sell-on clause, and staying at least 1 year on loan at Valencia. I think that's likely to be more than 1 year, because originally the plan was 2 years at Bournemouth and then come to Liverpool. That has since fallen through. We know he's a succession plan for 𝘍𝙆 Becker, so I think the 1 year on loan at Valencia, maybe more, will be heavily dependent on what happens with 𝘽𝙍𝙀𝙼𝙆, who I can see going next summer, and then we'll bring in 𝘍𝙍𝙆𝙆𝙆 to sit behind Alisson until such a time Alisson leaves the club and 𝘍𝙍𝙆𝙆𝙆 becomes a successor there for Alisson, which is the plan. Make no mistake about that, the plan is not for 𝘽𝙍𝙀𝙆 to succeed Alisson Becker. So I think for Kelleher's sake, he has to go, and I think it's best for his future, and obviously I would not want to stand in his way. He's been a great servant of the Liverpool Football Club, and he deserves first team football somewhere else. It's clear that the club don't want to give him that here, so it's fair play if he moves on. But I think that'll probably happen next summer now, with 𝘍𝙍𝙆𝙆𝙆 staying at Valencia once this deal goes through. But that's only one deal, and I said in the last video that's not going to appease Liverpool fans after what happened with Zubimendi. So we're still unsure about Joe Gomez's future. If he goes, then 100% we need a centre-back in this summer. If he goes, that's 100%. I still feel like we will need a centre-back though. And Gomez, I'm not sure if he goes. After what happened with Zubimendi, the failure there, I've kind of accepted that we won't get a DM. In fairness to Ryan Gravenberch, I think he played very, very well against Ipswich, but it was Ipswich. It remains to be seen whether he is capable of that kind of performance against some of the bigger boys in the Premier League. We've got Manchester United coming up in not too long, so, you know, that's going to be a great test for the likes of Ryan Gravenberch. We do still have Endo, and I think it's massively important we keep 𝘍𝙍𝙆𝙆𝙆𝙆. There's talks, as I said at the top of the video, of him going out on loan still this week at some point. I think that's crazy. With the DM situation we've got, I think it's insane. And I don't expect to get a DM in even late in this window. I just can't see it happening after the Zubimendi failure. I feel like Gravenberch is the go-to for Arne Slot right now, and then you've got Endo as rotation. 𝘍𝙍𝙆𝙆𝙆 though, I really feel like it's insane to send him out on loan. As much as I think he could do it, the experience, without the numbers, it's just kind of crazy. We do have, of course, Alexis Mac Allister who can play in that position, but it looks like Slot favours the double pivot, which means two people are going to be playing there anyway, and it's always more than likely going to be Mac Allister, and then you've got Gravenberch and Endo rotating in the other slot there. So I think 𝘍𝙍𝙆𝙆𝙆𝙆 has to say, I think it'll be a mistake to send him out on loan, but apparently that's what's going to happen. So we'll wait and see on that. As I said though, I think we can survive the DM thing this season if we keep 𝘍𝙀𝙀 with the likes of McAllister, Endo and Gravenberch still there. It's not an ideal situation. I do think we absolutely need a specialised 6, but it's the situation we're in right now. We don't have one, and I think we can survive. Where I don't think we can survive is in the centre-back position. Konaté is injury prone. Of course, we've got Virgil and Konaté. That's our starting pairing when they're both fit, but that's unlikely to happen for like half the season with the rate that Ibrahima Konaté gets injured, and that is a known thing. So this can't come as a surprise to the likes of Richard Hughes or Michael Edwards. They have to know this. They have all the sports science stats around this. So I can't believe that we're not bringing a centre-back in. There is still time in the window. Virgil van Dijk is 33 years old. He's in the last year of his contract. We don't know what's going to happen with him as far as the future goes as well. So it just makes sense to bring in a first team ready centre-back. Jarell Quansah, as great as he is, was subbed off at half-time against Ipswich. It's clear that there are some issues there. Arne Slot's seeing some things he doesn't like. Can we really go into a season with only Konaté, Virgil, and then a Quansah that is maybe not yet too ready for the big time? And then of course we've still got Joe Gomez, but we don't know if that's going to be long term. We don't know if he's going to stay. He could still exit the club in this window. I feel like, although he's got an uncertain future, I feel like Gomez will stay, but that's just my personal feeling. There's nothing I can back that up with, really. I just feel like if he was going to move, it probably would have happened by now. But even if he does stay, I do think a centre-back needs to come in. As I said, we don't know if Van Dijk's going to extend, which means he could not be at the club next year for the following season. So it'd be nice to get someone in now and get them used to the system, get them used to the team and stuff like that. And so we're ready to go for the new season next year. Whether that happens though, obviously is purely down to Richard Hughes and whether he can get a deal done quickly. Obviously, we've seen so far negotiations with players, it has been dragging on. We've seen it with Mamardashvili and we've seen it with Zubamendi. That wasn't an ideal way to go about a signing. Now, a deal can happen in a day. A deal can happen in the final hour of the transfer window. It's definitely possible, and Liverpool have the money there. As I said, we know they were going to spend 100 million on Caicedo last season, and I know a lot of people are asking what has happened to that money, but I think an even bigger pressing issue is that they've made around 80 million this window in profit alone. They could at least invest that 80 million. That 80 million will get you a Marc Guéhi. We know that Newcastle were in the range of 70 to 75 million before that deal collapsed. So that 80 million would definitely get you Marc Guéhi. Now, I don't think he's worth that, but we need the centre-back, and that's an option. There's also, you know, we've had links with Inacio, who's still available and has a release clause. So again, that's a very easy deal to get done very quickly if they want to. We know the club appreciate him. We know they appreciate Marc Guéhi. And I think both are affordable for Liverpool, certainly with the money we've made in this window. I just feel like something has to happen. Liverpool will be aware of the asking price after watching Newcastle's negotiations with Marc Guéhi, so they're going to know about what they're going to have to put on the table. They definitely have the money there, so I think, you know, it's a wait and see what happens as we approach the end of the window, but we need to see something happens for the sake of appeasing the fans and for the sake of the reputation of Richard Hughes at Liverpool Football Club, because so far this window has been a bit of a disaster for him. Maybe great with the outgoings, but we can't just ship out all these players and bring no one in. We're putting ourselves in a situation where you'll see it very soon once we start playing the cup games in midweek. We're gonna have to field starting 11 players in these early stages of cups, which is not ideal because we've still got the Premier League and we're going to have the Champions League soon as well, don't forget. So these players are going to get tired and it's going to have a negative impact as we come to the closing stages of the season, and it is time to start thinking about that because we don't really have the players to spread ourselves thinly across these competitions. So unless he's going to abandon these cups, we're in a position here where we have to start moving on some targets towards the end of this window. It's as simple as that. Now, Fabrizio has been speaking just today on this, and he said that I can guarantee Liverpool are working on deals for the final days, but nothing is close yet. Look, there's hope, but we're gonna have to wait and see. I personally think a lot of this rests on Joe Gomez. I think, for me, on a personal note, I think he will stay, but if he does go, I think it will trigger, you know, a series of dominoes, see the club pick up players here and there. You know, we'll definitely have to get a centre-back if Gomez goes. That's non-negotiable, and then who knows where we go from there in terms of what the deals are. If a deal could be done with Newcastle, could Anthony Gordon get involved? I don't know. But for me personally, I think we've got to see some movement on Inacio or Marc Guéhi. Something has to happen soon, and it's got to be with the centre-back. There are, of course, other options there as well. But this is purely speculation on my part at the moment because we're at a point now where the window is about to close and there's no substantial links to anyone yet for Liverpool. We just know that they are looking and that they won't rush into a signing. And I don't expect them to rush into a signing, but well, I do feel that something needs to happen. Let me know in the comments below what you guys think, where you would go with the end of this transfer window. Remember, this has got to be a deal Liverpool can get done quickly. We can't drag out negotiations. We already know the players that they're looking at, so it's going to probably be one of them, if anyone. And let me know what you think about this 80 million profit we've made in this transfer window so far, that, you know, none of it has been seen in terms of investment back into the squad. What is going on with FSG? What is going on with Richard Hughes? I mean, his reputation, it seems like he's on the floor at the moment with Liverpool fans, just based on the failings of the 𝘍𝙀𝘼 deal, but then also really not chasing that up with anyone else to recover the fumbled bag. Get your thoughts down in the comments below, and as always guys, thank you very much for listening. Make sure you subscribe to the channel if you're not subscribed already, if you want to stay up to date with everything going on at Liverpool Football Club, and stay tuned for that match preview coming up, and we'll see you in the next video. Peace.